It's time now for our regular business chat now. I'm joined by Virginia Valentine, who has turned things around to establish a successful cake design business. Alongside Virginia, Robin Rose, who helps individuals set up their own businesses. Welcome both. Virginia, tell me how your cake business came to be, because we have some examples of what you produce here, and quite frankly, they're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Something I've always done as a hobby, really, and I just had the yearning to turn it into a business.
And what was the inspiration? What was the point at which you said, OK, I'm going to go for it, I'm going to start my own business? Because it's tough times for people.
Yeah, well, 2 years ago, I opened my shop. But I just always had that urge to do something, and I'd done a bit at home, teaching myself all the modern techniques, and got a bit busy.
You just got a bit busy?
All right, I need more room.
You taught yourself how to produce stuff like this?
Yeah.
You didn't go on any kind of course or anything like that?
I did one course on modelling, how to learn modelling out of icing, but that's all. My grandma taught me how to bake. And
how long ago was this business started?
Well, 2 years this week.
And how's it going? All right?
Yeah, it's fine. It is a bit up and down at times, but I'm, getting quite a few big corporate orders and things like that now, so it keeps us going.
Congratulations. Robin runs or is part of the Icarus Partnership.
Yes,
is that correct?
This is a career management company primarily, so we work with people who are career blocked or hit some sort of a disaster in their career in some way. There's quite a lot of those around at the moment.
I can imagine, yes.
Quite a few of our clients do look, actually, to start up their own operations, and where possible we would put them in touch with the right people to do that.
So that's what you do. Somebody perhaps has a redundancy payoff or whatever and thinks, well, the heck with this, I'm not going to work for anybody else anymore.
Well, occasionally, most of our clients actually are paid for by the current or previous employer as part of an exit package.
I understand.
We also run a contract for the Department of Work and Pensions, so that when white-collar workers turn up at the job centres are, under a tremendous amount of pressure at the moment. Where appropriate, they refer them to us, and then we help them with their career and where they want to go from there.
And are you, given the climate, seeing an increase in people coming to you at the moment?
It was no question about that, yes. It's been like that for the last couple of years, I guess. But if you think about what's happened, we had people coming out of financial services, we had people coming out of construction, we've had people coming out of retail, and that's still happening. But in all of those cases, it's very hard for them to find a job back in their own sector. Yeah. So we've had to work with them to identify what their critical experiences have been, what their transferable skills are, who's going to value that, and how do we get that to actually happen so they end up with a job.
See, there are the buzzwords, critical skills, transferable skills, and what that means in your case, really, Virginia, is things that you're good at that you could possibly make a living at. That's putting it into layman's terms, isn't it?
We were discussing that before,
You've turned your hobby into a job, but the fact is, running a business is a different set of skills.
And is that where you can help? Because there's cash flow and banks and clients and VAT and all that you have to worry about.
Virginia has a cracking little shop in Altrincham, and I'd recommend anybody to go there. I mean, some of the things are just fascinating. But the reality of it is to sustain that all the time.
Yeah.
She has to have a flow of business coming through that's going to support the staff and everything else. And the growth is limited because, in the end, it's you.
And
so it's...
I mean, the cake making was the bit you were good at, and presumably the help you was what you needed was how to set up the business and how to keep the book straight and do all the kind of businessy bits, was it?
Yeah,
you do realise I'm trying to keep in well with it.
I'm sure you do, because we both have our that chocolate cake on the end there.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of had to learn on the job, really. And, I did have a number of people saying, oh, you're not going to be able to make a profit doing this, and, you're doing this wrong, you've not got enough management experience. But,
hey,
I've made a few mistakes, so far, but, yeah, I've got...
We're running out of time, and they're shouting we must move on. Very quickly, would you recommend anybody to set up their own business if they're thinking of doing it, even in the current climate?
Yeah, I think if you've got a good idea, then try and go for it.
There's a real challenge, Andy. Working 40 hours a week for somebody else is not the same as working an entire lifetime for yourself, because you don't switch off, you run it, you live it.
You've got to know what you're taking on.
The way that you are, then it can happen.
Virginia, Robin, thank you very much indeed. We must, I'm afraid, leave it there. I could chat forever, but we must move on.